Hi everyone, I am Sunil Mahabar. You must have watched my presentation on innovation, and today I have brought for you a new topic, and it is on what industry expects from a new joinee. So it goes like this. So the title is What Industry Expects from New Joinees. It is going to be in three parts, and this is part one. Now, this is probably the question lingering in every student who is in final year, but not only students. It keeps lingering in everybody's mind who seeks to join into a industry, any industry, and right now he is trying for that. So this question haunts him day in and day out. So it goes like this. The presentation mainly focuses on will your knowledge be equal to success in your chosen career? Who all are responsible for your success? What is reticular activating system? So before we go to our main topic, let us see a picture. This is the picture of a fully grown tree with its roots under the ground. Now, if we look at it differently, the tree which is above the ground is the personality and the roots are the characters. Now, there is a famous story of a peculiar bamboo species of China. For 6 months, when you sow the sapling and keep watering it and adding fertilizers, for 6 months nothing will come out of the ground. It will not shoot out. But after 6 months, the first leaf will appear, and then in around 1 year it will take its shape. And let me tell you that this particular species is known as the tallest bamboo tree in the world. So now for 6 months when nothing appears above the ground, what exactly is happening? The tree is strengthening its roots below the ground, which nobody can see. Because ultimately, if the tallest bamboo tree has to stand, has to survive in the adversities of the weather, then naturally the roots will have to be very strong. Now, how this analogy human beings also that if a person has to rise above the ground and be the tallest person on the ground, then his roots, that is character, must be very strong. Then only he can face the adversities offered to him by the life. And everybody has to undergo that. So this analogy fits with the human being also. So right now when you are not the part of industry, you assume that the roots are getting stronger. And if you take it that way, if you keep your character clean, neat and clean, and strong enough, then only when you join the industry, you will grow in that. So the main question, what is expected from me or you? That smiley is pointing towards you. So what is expected from me? What the industry expects? Now, according to me, once again, the same question, what industry expects? Up till now, I was worried what my parents expect from me. Then I thought what my friends are expecting from me. So all the time there is some pressure on my shoulder for the burden on my shoulder of the expectation of someone else. According to me, this question itself is wrong. It should not be asked that way. The question actually should be what you expect from yourself, what you as an individual expect from yourself. That should be the question. And the moment you get clarity into this question, then there will be no hindrance. You will reach there definitely. But there has to be 100% clarity in what you expect from yourself. So don't worry what industry expects from you. Decide what you expect. Now I will show you one table. It is full of digits 2, 4, 5, 6. And I am asking you here to count two numbers. How many times it has appeared in the table? So you have to count twos. How many times it has appeared? And let us see how many of you give the right answer. Okay. So I will present the table exactly for 10 seconds. Okay. So here it goes. Count the twos. How many times it has appeared in the table? For 10 seconds, I will leave the table as it is, and after that, I will take it off. Now, my question is how many twos are there? Have you counted? 15, 16, 17, 18. So, 19 is the right answer. And many of you might have counted it also. 19 twos are there. Now, my next question is how many fours are there? How many fives are there? How many sixes are there? If I ask this, you will laugh at me. तो तुमने ही बताया पहले दो काउंट करो एंड नाउ यू आर आस्किंग कि हाउ मेनी फोर्स आर देयर, हाउ मेनी फाइव्स आर देयर, हाउ मेनी सिक्स आर देयर. Let me tell you, there are 19 sixes also in the same table. But have you counted them? No, because you were told to count only twos. And that is precisely what happens in our life. Our parents, our teachers, our friends, society, they program our brain. If they program in such a way that the world is full of notorious people, problematic people, then you will only find problematic people in your life. But since your childhood, if you are told that along with the notorious people, there are good people also, and you should look at that also. So probably while during your journey of life, you will come across many good people also. But that all happens on your programming. So how your brain is programmed. If your brain is programmed in such a way that let the first adversity come in your life and you will be down to the dust. And literally with the first adversity in life, you will go to the dust. But if you are told that you have to fight it out, that is how the life is, then probably you will not be deterred by any adversity in your life. It is said that every adversity has an advantage hidden in it. अभी हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने जो भी बताया है कि आपदा को अवसर में बदलिए. So every adversity has an advantage hidden in it, and you should develop that mindset that let any adversity come in my life, I will look for the advantage hidden in it. So you will always see what you are looking for. Now, if you are searching your matriculate certificate, matric certificate, then you will not see the lost some other document. You will not see the missing electric bill which you were searching few days ago. So you will see what you are looking for. That is how the human life is. And let me now take you to reticular activating system. It is out of neurological science. If you look at the picture, then behind the ear and eye, you will see a red line, a inclined red line, and that is precisely the reticular activating system. Reticular in engineering means like wire mesh. So it is wired, filter. It is a sort of filter. So whatever information our five sensory organs give, it passes through this reticular activating system, and then the message reaches to brain. So the same message which your eyes have seen will not reach to your brain. It will be filtered by your RAS and then it will reach to your mind. So reticular activating system is also a filter between your conscious and subconscious mind. We will see it later also in detail. So now let me give you some examples. You will see what you are looking for. Okay. Are you the programmer of your brain? This RA is programmable. It is not read-only memory, ROM. It is EEPROM, erasable read-only memory. So even if till date you were working on a RAS which was programmed by your either by your parents or your teachers or your friends, even today you can erase it because it is EEPROM, erasable, programmable, read-only memory. So you can erase it today also. So are you the programmer of your brain? That should be the answer. And the answer must be yes, I am the programmer of my brain. I will see what I have decided to look at. Yes. Next, GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out, it is said. This is the short form of that. So if you have put Karela, bitter gourd, in the mixer, then only the bitter gourd juice or Karela juice will come out. Mosambi juice will not come out. So whatever you put in your brain, that is only going to come out when you start talking to somebody else. So be sure, ensure that only good things, positive things go into your brain. You read good books, you see good movies, and all the time you ensure that the garbage doesn't enter your head. Otherwise, it will start coming out. Now, there is a small story that two friends were walking by the side of the river, and during that walk, something happened in between them, and the other person who was away from the river slapped the person. So that friend who got slapped, he wrote that in the sand that my friend hit me today, my slapped me today, and then started walking again. Then after a few meters during the talk, he lost his balance. The person who got slapped first, he got his balance, lost his balance, and fell into the river. Now this gentleman who had hit him earlier immediately jumped into river and saved his life. He brought him on the bank. Now after he was saved, he regot his breath, and then he wrote it on the stone. With a sharp pebble, he wrote it on the stone. My friend saved my life today. Now this other person, he asked him कि ये क्या लफड़ा है? पहले तुमने सैंड में लिखा कि मेरे दोस्त ने मेरे को झापड़ मारा, and now you are written कि my friend has saved me my life, that you are writing on the stone. So what this gentleman said, the other person, कि whenever bad things happen to you in life, you should write it on sand so that it gets washed away with the time, with the tides. And whenever anything good happens to you, you should write it on a stone so that even the bad weather will not erase it. It will remain permanent in your memory. Now next is the beauty in the flower is not in the flower. All these stories are related to reticular activating system. Please mind it well. So the beauty in the flower is not in the flower, it is said. It is in the eyes of the person who looks at it. So if your RAS is properly programmed, you will see the beauty in the flower. Otherwise, it will be merely a flower of some color. If you say yes or you say no, you are always right. Your brain has been wired like that. So if you tell your brain that the things outside are out of control, corona बहुत बढ़ गया है, I should not go out, so your brain will say yes, absolutely right. You sit home and sit protected. But now if everybody follows this, then everybody will be inside. So who will give service to the patients? So the doctors and the volunteers who come out, actually the volunteers, because doctors and police constables and everybody, they are already on duty, but volunteers, they come out on their own to give service to patients. What they must be telling to you, their brains, कि बॉस परिस्थिति बिकट है, लेकिन if we take care, we can remain alive and give service to other people, and that I should do. So their brain says yes, it is all right, correct. It must be done that way. So whether you say yes, you say no, your brain will say yes. Okay, no problem. It is a perfect slave one can have in life. And then your life is the product of your choices. Whatever choices you have made yesterday, because of those choices, what you are today is what it because of that. And whatever choices you are going to make today will decide how you will be in future. It is always like that. We all had choices, isn't it? I also had a choice to rest and watch TV, but I decided to utilize this time in recording my presentations and bring it to you. And you also decided that instead of just resting, let me see if there are new videos. So you are watching this video. So our today's life is because of the choices we made yesterday, and our tomorrow's life is going to be dependent on the choices we make today. And that happens with the RAS if it is programmed properly. So your destiny is decided by your RAS programming. Do not let anyone else program it. So if someone tries to program your RAS, you strictly and bluntly tell him that you just stay away from that. That is my life and I am going to decide how to run it. That is how you should take charge of your life. It is your life. You are the CEO of that life. CEO operating officer. So stop blaming others for your failures. Just stop blaming and take the ownership of your life. Now see here. In this picture, it is told how the RAS works. The five sensory organs sense the outer world. They give the message to your conscious mind. And conscious mind is only 12%. Then it passes through the RAS. Then RAS colors it according to its programming. And the colored document or scene or event or song or taste or touch or smell will reach to your subconscious mind, which is alive 24 by 7. Your conscious mind sleeps when you sleep, but your subconscious mind is awake all the time till you are alive. It controls your breathing, it controls your respiration, it controls your blood supply, circulation, it controls your heartbeats. So it is alive all the time. And you must have experienced that when you have an alarm set at 5 a.m., you usually get up at 4:50 because your subconscious mind wakes you up. It is all the time awake, 24 by 7. Okay, so that is how it is. So subconscious mind is responsible 88% for your failures as well as success. So stop blaming the outer world. Outer world will cannot create any sort of disturbance or hindrance if you have decided your journey and if you have decided your goals. The adversities will come only in the shape of advantage in your life, not otherwise. So take charge of your life. And see here that 88% you yourself are responsible. What action happens is it is not responsible. What reaction you take is responsible for your life. So it is your reaction which matters. Now there was one lady living in a hut nearby a jungle, and she had a son just about 8 months old or 9 months old. And that son had a habit that once he is asleep, he will sleep for 45 minutes or 1 hour. That was his habit. So this lady used to manage her activities according to that. So one day that son was sleeping and she said that now he will be sleeping for 45 1 hour. So let me go into jungle and cut the firewood. So she went there and hurriedly after 40 minutes or so she was coming back to her home, her hut. And what she saw was a mongoose coming out of the hut with a mouth full of blood. So what she thought that this mongoose must have killed my son, 8 months old son. So she had an axe in her hand and she threw that axe at him and the mongoose died on the spot. Then she went inside hurriedly into the hut to see her son. After she reached there, what she saw that her son was sleeping quietly. undisturbed, and there was a snake just by the side of him, dead. He was dead, the snake was dead. Then she realized that Mongoose had not killed my son, but it has actually killed a snake which was about to bite, about to bite. So that is how it is. How you look at the situation, what is your reaction, that matters. So there are few of your reactions might haunt you throughout your life. So you should be very punctual and very, what I should say, careful about your reactions to any event. You should be very careful. Now it all depends on how you look at it. Once again, how you look at the situation. Now there was a balloon vendor standing at by the gate of a garden where the children used to come and buy the balloons. So he had multicolor balloons in the sky filled with some gas, and one balloon which he had inflated by using his mouth, the ordinary air. So it was hanging on the handle of the bicycle he was using. So one small child came and asked him that all these colorful balloons are high in the sky, but the black one, it is just dangling on the handle. So is it because it is black? So the balloon vendor said, no, 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 no. Whether the balloon will fly high in the sky or not is not decided by the color. It is decided by what is inside the balloon. If there is air, it will dangle. If there is gas, it will fly high. Now, how this analogy also fits well into human beings. Whether you are dark in complexion, you are fair in complexion, you are smart, you are ugly, however you might be, the success doesn't depend on your outer look, the color of the skin, your shape of the body. It doesn't depend on that. You might have observed yourself many people who have rose to the height of beacon lights for the rest of the world. They are not good looking. They were not necessarily smart people. Take the case of, sorry for naming him, but Om Puri. Om Puri was not having good looks, but still he won many awards in film industry. It was only on the basis of his acting talent. It had nothing to do with his looks. Now another story, one gentleman, he was traveling by a ship, big ship, and it broken down, the ship broken down, and actually it was a ship wreckage, and it got submerged afterwards. And while falling into the water, he saw one log of wood, and he just somehow climbed on that wood, and then half unconscious, he remained floating on the water. And then with the wind and waves of the sea, he ultimately reached a shore somewhere. Then he woke up and found that he is on an island. Then he searched and he found that it is a manless island. There is no man living there. Even the animals are not there. So it is unmanned. No animals. He said, what I will do now here? And no other ship will come early. So how I will remain alive? So he went through the jungle, he ate some fruits, and then he slept. He was all tired, very much tired. So he slept in the sand itself. And next day morning he thought, now if I have to live here for some time, let me build a hut. So he built a hut for himself with the dry branches and tree leaves. And he built that hut and started living in that. One night rather, what happened that the lightning struck and his hut got burnt. He was very much frustrated. तो ये तो भगवान तो मेरे पीछे ही पड़ गया. पहले मेरे को अनमैन्ड आइलैंड पे लाके पटक दिया ना, अभी मैंने झोपड़ी बनाई थी वो भी जला दिया. The hut even has got burnt. So I don't know what I will do now. Totally frustrated. So ultimately he slept in the sand itself again on the shore. Next day morning, someone was waking him up while he was sleeping. So he immediately got shocked that on this unmanned island, how someone can come to me and wake me up. So he looked at him, from where you are reached here, is unmanned land. So he was actually a captain of a ship, a cargo ship, and he told him that since long years we have been traveling through this sea, and we know that this island is unmanned. So today we found smoke rising from a hut on the island. So I was very much worried that on this island who is living alone. So I steered my ship away from the route and came here, and we saw you sleeping on the sand. Which country you belong? He said that I belong to India. Okay, we are passing through that sea. So let me take you. We will drop you at your shore, at the shore of Indian land. So he said, okay. And then when he went inside the ship, he ate something, then he was taking rest in his cabin. Then he thought that, okay, the hut was burned so that the smoke will rise, people will see that and come there to save me. So God has burned my hut not to put me in trouble, but actually to save me. So this is how what signal you give to your brain will decide how your life will be. You must always give positive signals to your brain, and no negative signal should be ever given. Now, expectations. If we talk about what industry expects from you. Now, here I have given examples how what all is required: knowledge, work, output. You must give output. Only knowledge is not enough. Consistency. You have to have consistency. Doing something once very brilliant is not enough. Then innovation. You must be innovative in your thinking. And lastly, the attitude. But in today's session, we will be focusing only on knowledge. So here I have given example of electrical engineering, but you can replace this set of subjects by another set of subjects related to your industry which you are about to join or want to join. So this knowledge, yes, industry expects that whatever you have learned in colleges, you must have that knowledge because they are not ready to give you time to refer books again. So if you are gathering knowledge, acquiring knowledge, then you must acquire it to the depth. Now in Marathi is it said that शिक्षण हे जेवणासारखं आहे. तुम्ही किती खाता याला महत्त्व नसून किती पचवता याला महत्त्व आहे. So what they said that education is like meal. How much you eat is not important. How much you digest is important. So you must digest all these topics thoroughly. The topics which are related to your industry. Now how will you score good marks? Because when you reach for an interview and open your file, this is the first thing they see, your certificates. Now how you will score good marks? There are various ways of scoring good marks. Mugging up the answer, reproducing the answers referring to your top layer memory, then understanding the concept and answering, and beginning with the end in mind. If you mug up the answers, you can give correct answers, and the moment you are away out of the examination hall, you will forget everything. Reproducing the answers referring to your top layer memory, you study very hard and you put and methods and solutions in your brain and then answer it. So also you can have good marks in your exam. But if the same paper is produced before you 2 months after, you will fail miserably in the same paper. That is what happens when you answer with your top layer memory. Understanding the concept and answering. This is a very good of scoring good marks. That if you understand the concept and then answer, then probably you will remember that concept or the answer throughout your life. You might have experienced that the poems you have learned in your childhood, in kindergarten, you still remember those poems. Why? Because it was your first beginning of the schooling and you were very excited. So your mind and body both were inside the classroom. And while the teacher was teaching you, you remembered it everything, even today. And lastly, it is begin with the end in mind. ultimately after you pass out from the college, what you want to be. So you keep asking this question throughout your life, that after 5 years, what I want to, how I see myself, what I want from myself, that you ask, keep asking. And if you keep that in mind every time, then you will be probably answering out of your deep memory, not top layer memory. Now, is knowledge equal to success? This is going to be the last slide of today's presentation. Is knowledge going to be success? This is the knowledge you are acquiring in colleges or anywhere in classes. Then comes the skill. As I said earlier, industry will expect you to be a knowledgeable person, but they don't expect you to be a skillful person. They are ready to wait. They will wait for 6 months, 1 year, and they will give you enough time to get skilled. Because once you are skilled, then only you are useful for the organization or the industry. So they are ready to wait for the skill to get developed. But the ownership is on you, responsibility is on you to get yourself skilled by uh, exploring and exposing yourself to different, what I should say, experiments. Then you get skilled. And the last thing, third thing, which nobody can teach, neither your parents, nor your teachers, nor your very good well wishers, they cannot teach you. It has to come from inside. Now, we all know that when an egg breaks from outside, you can make omelette out of it and you can eat it out. But when the same egg breaks from inside, a life comes to being. So, desire has to come from inside. Someone else inject desire in you. The egg has to break from inside, not from outside. So, this is the ownership. Now, what is the relation between these three, knowledge, skill, and desire? Let us see. It is the multiplication of knowledge, skill, and desire. Now, let me tell you the importance of multiplication in this equation. Had it been summation, even if one out of these three would have been 0, there would have been some result, because 100 plus 0 is equal to 200. But if you have 100 multiplied by 100 multiplied by 0, the product is 0. So neither of these three should become 0. That is your responsibility. And you are solely responsible for this. So finally, will your knowledge be equal to success? No, it is the product of knowledge, skill, and desire. Who all are responsible for your success? You and only you. Stop blaming others for your failures. Always follow mirror and window principle. Whenever anything good happens in your life, stand in front of a window and see to whom you can give the credit for that. But when something wrong happens in your life, you stand in front of a mirror and retrospect that what bad thing I have done, what wrong I have done, and then try to correct it. And lastly, what is reticular activating system? A programmed filter between what your eyes see and what gets projected on the screen inside. So be the programmer of your own RAS. Do not let anybody program it for you. So that's all. I hope the video must have made some sense to you, and you will watch part 2 and part 3, which will be loaded very soon. Thanks a lot. Have a good time. Take care.